Now, President Trump saying that he is endorsing Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton in the Texas Republican Senate runoff against incumbent Senator John Cornyn. Now, the president posting on Truth Social this: Ken Paxton has my complete and total endorsement to be the next United States Senator from the great state of Texas. Ken Paxton will never let you down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So President Trump just did something that a lot of us been advocating for the past couple of months, because he came out on Truth Social saying that he's endorsing Ken Paxton, who's running against the RINO, John Cornyn, who's running for the Senate seat in Texas. This is a huge blow for the RINOs in the Senate, because a lot of them, they're secretly working against the president. In public, they act like they support the president, but in private, they're doing and saying something completely different, like the majority leader, Senator John Thune. And here I have this video to show you of RINO Thune going on Fox News begging for the president to endorse John Cornyn, but the president made it clear whichever candidate he chooses to endorse, the next candidate need to drop out of the race. Play clip.
Here's what President Trump said on Truth Social. He is essentially calling upon one of them. He said, I will be making my endorsement soon in the Texas Senate race. So just to remind everyone, this is John Cornyn and Ken Paxton who are going up against each other in this race. So the president is going to endorse soon, and he will be asking the candidate that I don't endorse to immediately drop out of this race in capital letters. Your reaction to that, Senator?
I've spoken with the president already today about Texas, and I'm certainly hopeful. I think, as probably you know, Martha, I've made no secret of the fact that I hope the president will endorse John Cornyn. He is an incredibly effective senator for the state of Texas, a strong conservative voice here in the United States Senate, and represents by far our very best hope of making sure that Texas stays red in November in that Senate election.
This endorsement from President Trump is one of the best news that I've received this entire week, along with the defeat of the RINO, Senator Cassidy. And the reason why this is so important is because Senator John Thune has been putting up millions of dollars to get all these RINOs reelected to the Senate. And remember that President Trump made it very clear. He demanded that the Save America Act be passed, and Senator John Thune has been stalling ever since. So this right here is a clear message to Senator John Thune, who wanted the president to endorse John Cornyn. And here's a quick message from Ken Paxton after that endorsement. Play clip.
And the Paxton campaign just sent this statement, quote, I am incredibly honored to have President Trump's complete and total endorsement.
Ken Paxton is a real America First candidate, and he supports nuking the filibuster and passing the Save America Act. And one thing he stated when he was running, he said if John Cornyn and Senator John Thune could guarantee the passing of the Save America Act, he would drop out of the race. And none of them has guaranteed any of that. And the next clip that I want to show you is of John Cornyn, where he was a never Trumper. I believe this was filmed in 2023. And this is what he had to say about the president before he decided to run for re-election and beg for the president's endorsement. Play clip.
You've said that you think it's time for the Republican Party to move on from President Trump. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, in politics, unless you can win an election, you're pretty much irrelevant. And I just think it's critical that, given the direction of the country now under the Biden administration, that Republicans nominate somebody who can win a general election. President Trump has a very enthusiastic following among a lot of his base, but one thing I've learned through numerous elections is, yes, that's fine in a primary, but the goal is not just to win the primary, it's to win the general election. And to do that, you have to appeal to a broader range of voters, not just your base. So as a tactical or practical matter, I have concerns about the president's ability to win in November, and I think winning in November is critical.
That was Senator John Cornyn. I believe in 2023, he was saying that the president shouldn't have ran in 2024 because the president was, quote unquote, irrelevant. But we all know how history turned out. And this is what you have seen from these RINOs. What they do whenever the president is not running, they're like, oh, the president is irrelevant, the president shouldn't run, and they badmouth the president. But whenever they're running for re-election, what they do, they run and they beg the president for an endorsement. And that is exactly what you saw over the past couple of months, especially with Senator John Cornyn and Bill Cassidy as well. And the clearest sign that this guy is a RINO, Jasmine Crockett came out and endorsed John Cornyn, and you just cannot make this up. This is the clearest red flag that John Cornyn is a RINO. Play clip.
Now, listen, I'm about to tell all of MSNBC a secret. I actually don't hate Senator Cornyn at all. And right now, what we have is a senator who actually is a real Republican who's doing everything that he can to make it seem like he's a MAGA Republican so that he can get through his primary. But Senator Cornyn, this is not him. This is somebody that sat on our Supreme Court in the state of Texas. This is somebody who typically works in a very bipartisan way, unlike Senator Cruz. This is somebody who is literally doing everything that he can to hopefully get some of that MAGA base. And so Senator Cornyn knows that the FBI can't get involved and ain't gonna get involved as it relates to some little civil situation that was signed off on by the Speaker of the Texas House.
And that was Jasmine Crockett endorsing John Cornyn. And as I said, this is a clearest sign, clearest red flag that John Cornyn is a RINO. And here we have a video of John Cornyn being confronted in regards to President Trump endorsing him. This was before the endorsement was announced, but this is a very interesting clip that I want you to pay attention to. Play clip.
What do you have to say to the Americans who are questioning why President Trump should endorse you when many say that you've been vehemently against his agenda?
Do you speak for all these Americans? I don't understand.
Yeah, actually, I do.
Yeah.
Many people are asking this question. Do you have a response? I mean, you've been borderline pro-amnesty, red flag laws.
Are you being paid?
Anti-border
Are you
law.
being paid by the Paxton campaign?
No, I'm just a concerned American citizen representing millions of other Americans.
No, I think you're a paid influencer because none of that's true. And
I've noticed something weird about these RINOs that are so detached from the people whenever they are confronted in regards to what they're doing or lack thereof. What they proceed to do is to label journalists and influencers as being paid. And the reason for this is because they're so detached from the people. They're not listening to the people that voted them into office. And what you're going to see, quite frankly, is that John Cornyn is going to be voted out of office, because he's not listening to the people that he's supposed to be representing. And just to show you exactly what I'm talking about, I have this Kalshi poll to show you of the betting markets. And John Cornyn, his chances of becoming the nominee a couple of hours ago or a couple of days ago, it was at about 50%, 56%. And right now it is down in the gutter at 6.9%. Which is insane. And Ken Paxton, after that endorsement, it went up to 92.5%. Currently, that's where it's sitting at. And it's not only the betting markets, because the polls, the actual polls, they're showing that Ken Paxton is leading. He had a slight lead before the endorsement by President Trump. And here's Ken Paxton. He was asked about his slight lead, but we know it's going to take a couple of days for the polls to actually reflect that endorsement by President Trump. Play clip.
Ken, we got some polling from the University of Houston. They're actually showing that you're ahead of Senator Cornyn by 3 points, 48 to 45. Small margin, though. What's your message to Texans tonight?
Look, my message is simple. This guy, John Cornyn, has been in office for 42 years, since I was in college, and I'm 63. He's running for a fifth term, which no one's done in Texas history. And I've spent the last 14 months on the road asking one question. What good thing has John Cornyn done? Not just in the 24 years. I'm going to give him the whole 42 years that he's been in office. What one good thing has he accomplished? And asking that question in every meeting I've been in, from one person to thousands, no one's ever given me an answer. And then I say, take any 2-week period I've been in office, John Cornyn can pick it, and I will have accomplished more in 2 weeks than he's accomplished in 42 years. We need somebody that will deliver for Texas, somebody that will go fight. And John Cornyn is not that guy. He is not Ted Cruz. As a matter of fact, he cancels his vote often, and he certainly doesn't fight for Texas.
And that brings us to the end of this video. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below in regards to President Trump endorsing Ken Paxton over John Cornyn. Also, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.